this is the diagnosis. It's the photophobia, but what you have to do is to wear sunglasses and to avoid exposure to sunlight or very strong light, because otherwise you will suffer from headache or certain flashes in your eyes.
Uh-huh. Do you recommend
This is a preventable measures.
do you recommend cheap glasses to wear in the sun, like under the sun? Or should it be
Well,
original?
when I'm going to advise patient to wear a glass, I won't tell him go and buy Chanel or Dior sunglasses. He will I will say go and take any affordable one.
Okay, but I think there's some issues with the affordable ones. Like if you obtain one that is relatively cheap, that doesn't have the standards, that is going to ultimately affect the iris or the pupil of the eye, or it just harms the whole eye mechanism, just because it doesn't work or function in a proper way. Do you have any comment on that, or it's okay for that kind of
Yes, yes. As I told you, it's according to the standards of the patient. He cannot. They are very expensive, and they will not be able to afford it. So you use whatever available to you. But if it is harmful, yes, it is harmful, and there are certain standards that should be available, like hide the ultraviolet light or something like that. And according to my standards and lifestyle, I have to have a very good
of
or
course.
expensive sunglasses, expensive watch, and these are very mandatory to me. Hand watch, I mean.
Why are they mandatory to you,
Hmm.
and what kind of brands
But you
are you?
cannot say these.
Say it again. Say it
You
again.
cannot convince a patient with these standards, because
Well, sometimes the
you
economical
will say
status.
it will be harmful to you. You should not use it. But yeah, we have to be show some empathy about that. So
Okay.
I think when I did my eye surgery, I didn't buy something expensive. It was a sunglass they gave it to me at the hospital, and it worked actually.
Okay. Well, tell me if you need an ugly pair of glasses, because I have a extra one just in case you need to go under sun in
What is
July.
ugly?
And say it again.
What is the meaning of ugly?
Not ugly, but Oakley. Oakley is a
What is the meaning of
very famous
ugly?
brand for
Uh,
glasses. American brand for glasses, I think.
I don't
Um,
know.
I'll send
I
you
have Tom
a
Ford one. I
photo.
don't
I'll send you a photo of the glasses. I'm pretty sure you'll like them because
know.
they are red color.
Okay.
So
Mm.
shifting our topic, I want you to tell me two things tonight, and I would love if you elaborate as much as possible about them. You wrote that
Mm.
inspirational um, essay about motherhood. I want you to describe this feeling to
Mm.
me of writing, of just bleeding these words on paper and, expressing yourself as organic and as truthful as you were or you
Mm.
did in that meeting or in that piece of writing, and
Mm.
how that
Mm.
influenced your self-expression.
I think I expressed the same feelings the last meeting. I said
Mhm.
that what I did is that I prepare my pen and I prepare my pages and wanted to imagine myself in the examination hall, and I am having this topic to write about.
Mhm.
But I wrote nothing. I wrote nothing because I felt so stressed, and hundreds of thoughts come into my mind, came into my mind, and I couldn't put it on in words. But when the next day, when I wanted to write about it, I said that let's imagine some of my friend who is unmarried and she wanted to marry or to have a child,
Mhm.
and I want to advise her, or I want to put the real expectations in front of her, so she will not be shocked as I was shocked, because nobody talked to me about the real expectations.
Mhm.
That motherhood is not something perfect. You will not find everything. You will find only messy things, dirty things, shouting, yelling, uh, things to throw in everywhere. This is the motherhood.
Well,
It
tell me
is not
about it.
something perfect. Yeah,
Uh,
it is not something clean or neat.
okay.
You will have to make arrangements hundred times a day. And if you have an appointment, you have to make arrangements with your mother, your family, with many people, so you can make a simple appointment to the doctor, or even a meeting with a friend.
Okay.
This
So,
is a motherhood, being busy all the time.
um, I'm thinking about so many questions about motherhood, and I don't know if we can digress and talk about these questions or just focus on our major topic of discussion of tonight, which is writing. I want you to describe to me. This is so fascinating, actually. Um,
Mm,
I didn't get the chance to see my uh, baby when he was born at the hospital, and the reason for that was uh, the same day. Well, one night before uh,
mm,
she had to deliver the baby, I got a call from the embassy saying that you got
mm,
admitted in the well in the scholarship program in the United States, and tomorrow you're scheduled
mm,
for an interview um, to
mm,
check if you are eligible for the scholarship or not. And there's going to be a
mm,
committee from the embassy and from the scholarship program,
mm,
Fulbright scholarship program, and they're
mm,
going to meet you in Baghdad.
mm, mm,
So I I hung up, um, and I went to my wife and I said this, and I said, "Well, listen, this is the case. If I don't go tomorrow, I'm
mm,
just gonna miss the best opportunity in my life. And uh,
mm,
if I go, you're going to be the saddest person because I will not accompany you through this interesting experience
mm,
that happens the first time for me and
mm,
you, and I have no
mm,
idea how that is going to happen." So she said, "When is the interview going to happen?" And I said,
mm,
"It's around 9 a.m." So she said, "Well, go and come
mm,
back to the hospital when you are done with the interview."
mm,
So I went. It's quite interesting. So I went to the
mm,
interview, and um, I was one of the candidates that entered into the committee hall to do the interview, and they asked me, "What are you going after you leave
mm,
this meeting?" And I said, "Well, my wife is delivering my first baby in the hospital." And I made a sacrifice to come to the
mm,
scholarship interview, and they were shocked. And they said, "Are you serious? Like you left your wife delivering your first baby and you just came here?" And I said, "Well, I couldn't sacrifice one over the other. So I'm just juggling two balls. I promised her that I'll come do the interview and run blazing fast back to see her." So thankfully, when I got back, I just found that she has just few minutes ago delivered the baby, so I could carry him and look at him for the first time. And it was amazing experience. This leads me, this leads me here to ask you the question of how did you feel when you saw your first baby?
hello.
I hear you. You muted yourself. Zainab, you muted yourself. Do you
I
hear
just
me?
missed the last part.
I said,
They were shocked.
okay.
It is.
How about now? Do you hear me now?
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay. What was the last part you heard?
You said that they were shocked.
Yes, they were shocked and said, how could you just leave your wife to deliver the baby by herself and come here? You should have supported her and be in her company." And I was like, I couldn't lose this opportunity. So I think that was one of the reasons they accepted me in the scholarship program that I declined later on. This leads me to my important question of how do you describe the first moment you saw your baby and you held him or her in your hand, and how was that feeling, like being the feeling of becoming a mother?
It wasn't scary at the first moment because I was happy that the C-section went smoothly, and it was Saturday, so it's holiday, and there were no senior doctors, just one senior doctor, and they said that the baby might need neonatal care unit, and there were no available beds. So, hello, do you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. And I was, yeah. And they said that there were no available beds, all are busy. And after I wake up, I was in some state of delirium or something like that. I couldn't recognize everybody who were around me, but I recognized the baby, and I asked them if he's okay and he doesn't need any intervention or something.
Okay.
They said no, he was very brave, and he didn't need anything, and he's okay. So it went smoothly, actually. I didn't scared at that time, but afterward, you know, the exhaustion and the
that came later.
will start.
The exhaustion and the struggle.
Well, I expected that my baby will be a little. I expected that my baby will be a little monster from the first night, because he was the only baby who was crying all the night long.
Okay, so who decided to name your baby in the beginning? Was it like a negotiation and somebody, one of you offered a couple of names and the other offered a couple of names, and you just ran a kind of lottery to choose the name? Or what kind of situation was accompanied by that kind of occasion?
To Fallujah and stuff. I had a lot of tasks to be done, so it's very busy.
Okay. Good. So part of our activity for tonight, what we are going to do, well, since you said that you have a conversation with me through your phone, I've been thinking about the way we can just type up at least one page of that text that you wrote about motherhood in the Google document. And I don't think that is feasible, considering the fact that you have a phone, you do not have your laptop. And I'm thinking of alternatives here. I think we can just assign you to write it sometime tonight. Well, later, maybe tomorrow. I think that's much better.
I'll try to use my sister's laptop. Okay.
Now?
Not now, no.
Okay.
It's not
Well,
available now.
I just want you to convert the text, because what I did, I took the photos that you sent me, and I went online to a program called OCR, which is optical text or context translator, recognition. And in this software, they convert the image into text, but I couldn't extract the whole text because it was written with, well, it was handwritten, and
Yes.
some of the words were not be it was almost impossible to decode what they are.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking of you typing it up, probably adding some
Yes, I
modifications.
will.
Also, you said that there is some addendum. Addendum. I think that's a medical word. Um, have
What
you
is
heard of
it?
this word?
No, no.
Um, well, it's like um, addendum is يعني لاحقة أو ملحق
Mm.
to that motherhood essay that you wrote. And what we can do here, let me just show you here. I don't know if you can see the screen that I'm sharing right now. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I just said, please type the essay of motherhood here. And I don't know if you still have an access to this document, but what I will be doing, I'm just gonna go and resend the link to you here, so you can just have an access to it later once you get that ready. Moving on to the listening section, I have two inquiries about the listening section. First, are you planning to take the IELTS test anytime soon, by the end of this year, maybe the beginning of new year? What is your preparation for that particular item when it comes to taking the test logistically? Are you planning to take it in
I'm
Iraq or abroad?
I'm planning to have it in Turkey actually, but when I didn't confirm yet, I didn't figure it out yet.
Okay. Now, we still have some time to work on that, because it's very important. It's very important test, and we definitely need to do a little bit of training for the reading section. We haven't covered that yet. Also, we can do a little bit of reflective writing about this motherhood. Probably we can just take that and do a little bit of modification to it. Um, the second thing, you took the listening test. I haven't graded you actually as of yet, but I want to ask you how you felt when you took the test. Just general feeling about what kind of.
I feel more relaxed this time. I did it 3 times previously while we are meeting, but I was so stressed, and I lost, connection, and I didn't engage with the speaker very well. But this time, no, I felt more comfortable and relaxed while I'm having it. I don't know why actually, but I think because I used to hear a lot of speeches and articles and read much articles these days, so I'm more comfortable with the language and the pronunciations.
Okay. When you said you're more comfortable with language and pronunciation, can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Like previously, I used to watch movies and TV series that were translated, and I depend on that. I didn't bother myself hearing so much. I sometimes just open the TV screen, and while my baby is sleeping, and mute the TV. So I rely mostly on the translation. But now, no, I just turn it off, and I find out my point of weaknesses.
Okay. Now, Stop sharing. Say here. I've run into some of the okay, give me 1 second here. Let me just go back to this document here that we talked about and see. So can we say, for example, that you're planning to take the test probably, let's say, towards the end of this year in Turkey?
Yes, probably.
Do you see the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in this screen, what I will be doing, I'll just add here the results, but I will be looking forward actually, because I'm very excited that you start writing that part or typing it up, just copying it from the papers and putting that particular part here so we can do a little bit of discussion about it, which is the motherhood. The second thing is talking about the power of habit. This is chapter 6 that we have so far. What are your what is your progress in this chapter? Have you had any chance to go through the
Yes.
parts of the chapter of this book or not?
Yeah, I finished the chapter.
Okay. Is it possible that you just give me a little bit of rundown of that particular chapter?
Okay, yes. Let's start with introduction to it.
Okay,
sorry.
take your time. I said take your time.
Yeah. We have to mention the major key points regarding that chapter, which will be the first is the truth, and the second is the crisis. Okay, so we can say that most of the leaders or the decision makers may compete each other or sometimes compete themselves for the power only. So they will temper their own desires and goals in order to make sure that the organization is successful. And if we will describe this in the exact, or we can find the exact term to describe it, is the process of truth. Like yes, if we want to talk more about the truth, it is some kind of routine that will offer a rough justice that will make the usual amount of work within the usual and within the usual frequency. It will make the work get done and within the usual frequency. But it will. We can say that the rivalries will still exist, and but they keep within the the bounds, and the business may thrive. Sorry, I'm just trying to use my
information that you gathered from reading. Okay.
So now, the true. Sorry.
Continue, please.
Okay. Truth sometimes creates the uneasy peace that will, if that peace is not real and if it not lead to justice, this will be unendurable and the routine will fail. So this, the truth theory or routine will make everyone know his place and know what is the exact thing to be done. But it will not make him have the ability to learn anything outside what he is assigned to do, and this limits their authority and their responsibilities. Okay. So like I wanted to mention things about the blaming and competing for the power, and like from an accident that I went through, and it is the same thing that happened in that hospital mentioned in in the chapter. I think it's the
Okay.
Rhode Island hospital. I was a resident doctor. They called us rotator because we rotate among the hospital. So what happened is that it was very late in the night, and someone admitted to the hospital. Some patient admitted to the hospital, and he had right upper abdominal pain. I examined him. My friend, my colleague, also examined him, and we sent him to ultrasound. And we came to the conclusion that he is having acute cholecystitis. And the ultrasound also showed that he has stones in his gallbladder. So we made his paper sheets and the medical papers, and I wrote the history. I sent him to investigation, and we sent him to the ward. We were in the emergency room. But it wasn't urgent. It wasn't a critical case. And we made him an appointment for elective surgery after a few days. I ended the shift and went to sleep. I checked every patient, and there were nothing critical, and I went to bed. I woke up at 5 a.m. to have the morning tour, and I entered one of the rooms, and the patient was lying on the hospital bed, and he has a bandage on his lower abdomen. So I shocked. I didn't know what happened, because why did he have surgery? We kept him in hospital to have analgesics and to get to be relieved and to be released at the morning, because it was very late at the night. But he had bandages on the lower abdomen. So fortunately, I didn't ask the relatives what happened, because I felt something was wrong.
And what happened later?
I took his medical papers, and I tried to browse the pages where the surgical notes are written. So I was shocked that they had appendectomy surgery for the patient. I was so shocked, and I ran to my colleague and asked her what happened. This patient having appendectomy, does he had appendicitis at the night while I was sleeping, or no one waked me up? What happened? She said, I don't know. So I rushed to the senior doctor and told him about the story. After a few minutes, I heard a shout. The doctors were fighting with each other. So I entered into the room, and the primary permanent doctor pointed to me, and he said that she is the one who should be blamed. I laughed, actually. I was so confident. I knew what I did and what they did. I told him, why would you blame me? Why you are charging me? He said that you didn't write anything on his paper sheets, and
but that's not
you didn't.
That's not enough. That's not enough justification. That's not enough.
That I said I am the least one who is in charge in this room. I'm the less one who is responsible among you, because it is not my responsibility to have a surgery. This one reason. The other reason is that every surgeon have to read the instructions or the information written in the patient medical papers, and I wrote that he is having upper abdominal pain, not a lower abdominal pain, and I sent him to the ultrasound, and they said that he has gallstones. And we even appointed, we have made appointment for elective surgery. So everybody was shocked and silent and mute. And I told him that it is your responsibility to not only read my history that I took from the patient, but it's the responsibility to ask the patient on the surgery, during the surgery, about his history before giving him anesthesia. So it's the same that happened in that. I think it is the same what happened during that surgery. And if I wasn't confident enough and courageous enough to defend myself, I think they will kick me out of the service.
Now, in this kind of conditions, which we hope is, I mean, it's a medical mistake or medical error. I don't know the technical term that is used in your case to refer to.
It's a medical disaster, actually, not error or mistake.
Because he's going to end up having 2 surgeries, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, this is not the appropriate one. I mean, he opened up his abdomen blindly. What was he was thinking about?
So they just decide out of their own discretion that the case is just appendicitis.
If you opened his abdomen, don't you see that his appendix was clear and there was no signs of inflammation? What did you say to yourself?
Okay. I really don't. Was he like a new, fresh junior doctor, or was he like an experienced one?
Well, there were 4, not 1.
Oh my
primary,
God.
secondary, third, 4th, and final. There were 5.
Okay.
The only one who was cooperative was the senior permanent doctor. He said that I will take the blame and it is my responsibility.
How about if when they leave scalpels or scissors in the abdomen of the patient? Why is this happening?
Because when you do anything like operation or any kind of intervention, you should double check every step you do, counting your instruments, counting your gauzes, your cuts and pieces, everything after you are finishing. Some of the doctors are impatient, actually.
Some of them are in hurry.
Yeah, they want to finish everything and close the abdomen and go to do whatever they want to do. Finally they blame us.
They blame the patient because he was sleeping while they were just like cutting part of his inside.
They might do it.
I mean, I don't know, but like I saw some time ago, like that they lost scissors and the patient was having some pain in his abdomen. And when he ran to the X-ray and he was X-rayed, they discovered a pair of scissors in his abdomen, his lower part of abdomen. And I think when they left that tool after he had appendicitis, so it was probably part of the replacement of the appendicitis.
Okay.
I don't know, like this is crazy. Like
they
crazy
make it
things
up
happen.
To him.
I mean, I'm pretty sure because you are in the emergency room or surgery room, and you've gone through so many different and various experiences and stronger experiences, more than me, sitting behind the laptop and just talking. Anyways,
some of them are very arrogant to say that I did a mistake. I think this one of the
why arrogant
reasons. I don't know. Ask them why are they arrogant.
Is it just because they are?
It's very, very hard to admit something wrong that you did. I know it is hard, but you have to have. But it is not bad thing that you do bad things. But the bad thing is that you do not admit it or confess about it.
Okay. Are they that many people who do not confess that they made a mistake?
Sure.
Are you
There
one
are
of
too
them?
many. But I should not supposed to be the one who answered that. But I don't think so. No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
Well, um, I want to I mean, this is very juicy topic and it's very enriching. And I think tapping on your experiences and listening to you talking about it is quite impressive. But I should let's focus a little bit on some of the tasks that we have done. I
Uh,
noticed
mm,
when you were telling me the stories that you read from chapter 6, that you were just automatically presenting that to me as voice. You're not just going through sentence by sentence and reading that. Um, and what I want you to do, just to put it probably in 200 or 300 words, along with that essay, in the link that I sent you, and then in our next meeting we can just analyze some of what you said, because what you said is a spoken, it's not written. So it was going through faster frequency than writing. And what I will do is I will send you the recording of the part that you started telling me about chapter 6. And then based on this recording, you can just gather some of the ideas that you said
okay.
and just put it as a summary.
Okay.
Yesterday, I was talking with one of my friends, my colleagues, and I said, I mean, it doesn't matter what you write, but it matters to us how you write it. So we can talk about a summary of a book, a chapter, or a summary of medical prescription, or an operation in surgery, or anything. But the way we present it and how we present it is what matters for examination and test takers and evaluators, because based on that we can see the man or the woman behind the pen or the keyboard who's typing that up and putting it in this sequence. And based on my observation in writing, I that I saw progressively of what you've been doing, I really think that you have reached a very not optimal but professional way of presenting things. If we can just keep in mind what the reader is expecting you to say. And in our case, there are very simple categories. There are task completion, where we focus on the task and how we complete it. They are the cohesion and coherence of the text and how it logically and sequentially leads from paragraph to paragraph with a joint. I mean, I wish that you have a laptop right now to discuss it. And I think this whole alternative thing just happens because of lack of laptop. And vocabulary diversity, which you have tremendous amount of impressive vocabulary. I mean, at least based on what I heard from the motherhood essay. And last but not least, the grammar range and your accuracy of the words that you're saying. So on this principle, what I wrote in the document, I asked you to just do two tasks. And let me just reflect that in the screen so you can have a look at it and keep it in mind between now and this upcoming 3 or 4 days. Um, what you see here on April 10th, um, what we need to do is just simply type the essay of motherhood here, because I just want to have a look at it and then do some discussion about it and see, like, if you say this sentence this way, maybe there is this idea of saying it and putting it in a different way. You remember you like this kind of activity from the
Yes.
activities that we did before,
Yeah.
of paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And then for Power of Habit, chapter 6, we have discussed so far. I just want you to write 300, 200 to, let's just modestly put it, because I don't want to put so much effort on you. 200 to 300 words summary of chapter 6, depending on the summary that you mentioned to me during the
Okay.
meeting. Okay, so that's relatively easy task. What you just need to do is just to put everything that you wrote and productively said to me during this meeting. I'll send you a link to it. You can just put it in here and then just notify me that, Waleed, I have finished this task. Please have a look at it. What I will do between now and tomorrow morning, I'll send you the score for the listening, and I will highlight the items that you struggled with, because I saw that you didn't answer some of the questions. And for every one of these questions, there is some weakness. So we can talk a little bit about it. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Any questions?
No.
Okay, perfect. So let's get together on Monday, inshallah. If you are available on Monday, we can. I don't know if Monday is going to be the first of Ramadan or not, but let's say tentatively on Monday evening.
Okay.
Meeting on Monday. Sounds good. Well, say hi to Jafar, and please be safe. And let's get together in a couple of days. Do you hear me?
No.
Hello?
Yeah, now I hear you.
Okay. I said stay safe, be positive, and I will see you in a couple of days, inshallah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for
Great.
your time.
Say hi to Jafar. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye. Have a good night.